Hello and welcome to the debate. I'm your host Sana Makbool with you at PTV World. In today's show, we will be taking a look at the visit of the Prime Minister to China, his first official visit to the country since assuming office, and of course an important one after the 20th meeting of the National Congress of the Communist Party of China, as well. He's one of the few foreign dignitaries who have visited China after this particular meeting. And of course, in terms of the relationship between Pakistan and China, this particular visit also holds great importance. And then, of course, when we take into light what is happening internationally in terms of the kind of crisis that we have seen in terms of economic recession, insecurity with regards to food and other issues, and of course conflict in various parts of the world, and then the post-pandemic era, and of course issues of climate change, this was an important visit. And then also, of course, on the domestic front, the kind of political and economic issues that Pakistan has been facing for quite some time, especially in the wake of the devastating floods as well. This is, of course, an important visit in terms of what can happen in this particular relationship and the way that it can impact Pakistan in these challenging times. Of course, China is the all-weather strategic partner of China, and it has stood by Pakistan in previous challenging times as well. And so, of course, we expect the same at this time around too. But in terms of how we're going to proceed forward, especially with regards to bilateral engagement, focusing on trade and investment ties between the two countries and expanding the CPEC project is what, of course, is going to be the focus of the discussion. In this particular visit, the meeting between the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Chinese President Xi Jinping is, of course, an important one in terms of how the two countries and two leaders are going to take this particular relationship forward. There is, of course, discussion regarding CPEC and the way that the second phase is going to be ushered in and what the focus is going to be on the partnership between the two countries. There is also discussion by the Prime Minister with regards to Chinese investment in renewable energy projects, particularly the government's decision of 10,000 megawatt solar and other renewable energy projects within the country, in which the Prime Minister said the Chinese companies showed an encouraging response. He also urged the Chinese investors and businessmen that he also met today to invest in Pakistan, and particularly with the focus of renewable energy, wind turbines and other issues. There is, of course, also the impact that the technological advancements and export of technologies with regards to agriculture and other areas in Pakistan will particularly help Pakistan. Especially, there was also discussion with regards to the exporting of technology for a 160 kilometer per hour high-speed railway train to Pakistan. And there is, of course, other projects related to CPEC as well that is under discussion. In that, we also, of course, know that the Mainline 1 railway upgrading project and the Karachi Circular Railway project also hold a lot of importance. We're going to be taking a look at all of these particular projects, and in terms of the number of MOUs that have been signed, how exactly are we going to proceed with this particular engagement? And of course, the kind of hindrances and obstacles that Pakistan or the CPEC project has earlier faced. The Prime Minister, of course, once again gave a lot of reassurances in terms of what is going to happen, and in terms of course, how we're going to be able to provide those security guarantees that are much needed in the CPEC related projects, and then, of course, to be able to sustain this partnership moving forward as well. There is also an important MOU that was mentioned, which was between the National Bank of Pakistan and also the People's Bank of China, in which a number of areas were discussed, particularly with regards to facilitating cross-border transactions, and that is going to be important, especially when we talk about business-related engagements. There is also water storage in Karachi, whose willingness the Prime Minister expressed with regards to the federal and the provincial governments as well, and in cooperation with, of course, the Chinese partners. So we're going to take an overall look at what this visit meant and how exactly will this be a success for Pakistan in the times to come as well. For this and more, as always, I've been joined in the studios by senior analyst Farooq Patafi and Raja Faisal. And we've also been joined online by Maryam Raza, who's the Deputy Director, Pakistan Research Center for Community with Shared Future. And then, of course, we're also going to be joined by Zoon Ahmed Khan, Fellow Center for China and Globalization, who will be joining us in the middle of the show. Let me start with you, Ms. Maryam, considering, of course, what is happening in terms of what Pakistan has been going through, especially with regards to the economic challenges that the country has been facing, and then, of course, the political ones too, and then how the international landscape is evolving. This particular relationship holds a lot more importance than just in terms of the historic context in which we've seen Pakistan and China evolve in the past. considering this particular visit by the Prime Minister, and in the time that we are seeing it happen, the focus on trade and investment is, of course, very, very important. How do you see the kind of discussions that we have seen between the Prime Minister and the Chinese President be able to sustain themselves, and how exactly do you think that we're going to be able to follow through with all of this, and how we're going to see them evolve for an economic benefit for the country?
Yes, thank you so much. I would like to say that first of all, the visit that has been conducted recently has happened in the most crucial time, with relevance to the regional landscape, changing socio-economic and political developments which have been going on, and obviously with relevance to China and Pakistan relation when it comes to enhancing collaboration in CPEC and other projects as well. So I think. With regards to changing the regional socio-economic dynamics, we have been seeing about the Quad, about the UCOS, and other many other new happenings that have been going on recently. So under this regard, in this context, I think the recent visit is very much important. It is a clear and loud message to the world that Pakistan and China are, iron brother, and they have a lot of good relationship when it comes to CPEC and other areas. So I think in this visit, there are a lot of different MOUs that have been signed in different fields with relevance to, when it comes to IT, when it comes to research and development, when it comes to economic empowerment and all that. So the major aspect or the major pillar which I would say that it is with regard to China Pakistan economic corridor. Obviously when it comes to the bilateral meetings and the other MOUs, they all are linked with this mega project. So when we say that, obviously the CPAC is a game changer project, or CPAC is a biggest flagship project of Belt and Road Initiative. So obviously there is certain areas that which we need to look on. Obviously since the last few years, the CPAC has been now entering into second phase, and there is a need to match with the pace, because during the bilateral meetings as well, our PM, he has assured Chinese leadership that we are going to look upon the security condition as well for the Chinese worker, and also enhance our industrial development. So obviously when it comes to economic empowerment or enhancing your socio-economic landscape and other developments. So this visit has huge. It holds a lot of volume because this is the
Right,
first
no,
of.
and I understand that, of course, the CPEC related projects are of utmost importance to the country, but particularly now that we are in the second phase, and there is, of course, a lot of emphasis in terms of how we proceed. There is, of course, the question of the kind of discussions that we've seen between the two leaders and to how we want to see them actually play out.
I would like to go towards Maryam. When we talk about strengthening strategic partnership, we know that in recent past and since a long time we have had a very good partnership, strategic partnership with the Chinese, and of course in the defense sector as well. Are we seeing that getting increased income in future? And in this particular visit, is there something which we can expect from the Chinese side coming to Pakistan once more? We know last time we had J-10Cs.
Yes, I believe that when you say that China and Pakistan, they are iron brothers, or they have all-weather strategic partnerships. So obviously there are a lot of dimensions and there are a lot of aspects that we need to look on. And in this regard, military and defense sector is one of the major importance. So I think that this visit, when it comes to other dimensions that we have talked on, I think talking about on military and strategic enhancement of relations are also important, and I think that it will enhance in future when it comes to this overall security situation, whatever the scenario is, whether it's for CPAC, for other economic development project, or for Pakistan and China bilateral defense relations. So when it comes to the specific project of CPAC, yes, there are a lot of possibilities. There are a lot of prospects for enhancing the defense and strategic partnership. And I think that this was one of the agenda included in the discussion, that how and what are the opportunities and how we can enhance our cooperation in different fields. So yes, this is one of the major aspect, and which is very important when it comes to enhancing economic empowerment, even because when there is industrial cooperation, when we need to enhance our services sector, so this security situation comes first, because and also it was also part of the discussion that we will provide security, and it will ensure that we will look towards the security of Chinese workers working in Pakistan. So I think yes, this is a major aspect.
Right.
Maryam, Zoon has highlighted the excellent points, and especially if we talk about agriculture, of course we know that China is a country with obviously a massive population. It is not only feeding itself, but it is to some extent exporting food items as well to the world. How? Because they are using a very up-to-date, updated technology for their agriculture to enhance their production. We have a lot to learn from China. Would you please shed some light on it? What are the aspects of agriculture we need to obviously learn from China to increase our products as well, to meet our bread needs, and to meet our challenges, the economic challenges as well, by exporting our food to the neighboring countries?
Yes, well, when we talk about China, and when we talk about learning from their governance model and their development, so there are many aspects that we need to look on when it comes to agricultural corridors, or when it comes to different other sectors that Masoon has already pointed out, when it comes to IT, when it comes to research and development, or when it comes to other aspect which will include people to people connectivity. And obviously when we are talking about corridors, so it's not just about enhancing bilateral relation between two countries, but also it has implication for the region and beyond. So when we are talking about agriculture sector, I think within Belt and Road Initiative, within BRI country or within BRI region, agriculture connectivity or food security is one of the major aspects that we need to work on and we need to talk upon, because when it comes to learning from China, we have in past we have seen that how what have we learned from major powers, our relation with major powers, when it comes to US or when it comes to Russia for a brief time, Soviet, and now China. But China is different in many of the areas, in many of the vision. China is different. For example, US, they have their seed labs, they have their center established, in which they are doing research through latest technological advancement on different aspects, because food security is something that we will be needing in coming times. We need to establish corridor within the corridor when it comes to food security. We have seen what has happened in Pakistan in the recent floods. We have seen that how the biggest human catastrophe. So the food supply chain has been disrupted. If we have capability, we have potential, we need to enhance our capability, and by learning from China. Obviously when it comes to CPAC, there are many aspects, and food security and food establishing food corridor is one of the major, especially we have a lot of population to cater to. And when it comes to learning from new technological advancement and research and development, seed and different food related aspects, so it is not just to adopt from China, but to adapt to the changes, the new development that has been going on. So I would
Right.
I think my firm last saying would be that this is a very important area. Apart from just learning, we need to implement so many things. We have our universities, they are working on hybrid seas, they are working on so many good developments which we need to highlight, we need to project along with taking expert guidance from Chinese.
Absolutely, and we hope that we realize the importance of this particular project and this relationship and the kind of impact that it's going to have, and we actually follow by all of that and be able to take out as much as we can from this and more. Thank you very much, Maryam Raza and Zoon Ahmed Khan, for joining us, and of course Farooq and Faisal for being with me on the show. This particular visit has concluded, but the engagement with China is going to remain, and we hope that it's going to bring in economic prosperity soon, and that we're able to see CPEC come to the great heights that of course it has the potential for, and that it currently also benefits the people who are part of this particular project, and then also in the coming days the entire nation as well. That's all that we have from the debate. See you tomorrow.